All right, we're going to get under the 1961 Willys wagon and give you a run through on everything. It's been added over the years, as well as any areas I want to point out regarding, corrosion in the floorboard. All been treated. It was that way when I got it. It looks to be the same as it was, and as explained in earlier videos. I've had it 3 years this February 1st. And we mentioned other videos also in 2016, car went through a pretty heavy refurb and it was down for most of the year. And in the 7 years the previous owner owned it, he only managed to drive it 700 miles. And I know that because the instrumentation Dakota instruments were all changed and zeroed during that 2016 period. So the car did sit a lot. But let me point out everything that was done, because basically everything under here was done in 2016, 10 years ago, but only driven less than 1,500 miles in total. So starting from here, you get a glimpse that's the trans cooler, which looks to have been added at the same time as the aluminum radiator was added. Also, all the way around, there's new suspension, leafs and shocks all the way around, as well as disc brakes. Disc brakes all the way around on this car. So the disc brake system or brake system is a manual system. So it's a manual master cylinder, but it actually has a super nice feel to it, in braking. Looks to be the original steering box. Very little play in this one. These cars are notorious for excess steering wheel play, but this one does not have that. So this actually could be left alone. If someone wanted power steering, this is a great candidate for an electric power steering setup. And you notice that it is a GM 350. I don't know if it's a Chevy or not, but it could be a Buick or Olds. But one of the big additions they made, now the engine and trans were in there. The previous owner inherited with this initial drivetrain setup. But what they did do was rebuild this 700 R4 transmission. So this is a brand new rebuild. This is the 4-speed, making it the R4. So it really does drive nice, shifts very nice. You can see here it's got the braided lines back to the trans cooler. Okay, start moving toward the rear. Again, looking at the exhaust system, all replaced during that 2016 period. And we'll go back. Driveline must have been reworked. It's got whoever that guy is. The again, suspension's all new, disc brakes all the way around. The axle looks to be Dana 44. It still sports the original tag on it, which makes, I believe it is a 48 axle. Not terrible as far as gear ratio goes, because these tires are almost 30 inches tall. Plus, with the 4-speed transmission, she is running about 2,000 RPM at 50 miles an hour, which is about as fast as we drive it here, because we're a little bit in a rural area, so it's ideal for here. But of course, someone could, change it if they wanted to go, a little faster on highway speeds. Fuel tank was replaced. It's a 15-gallon, and all the sending unit, everything works exactly how it's supposed to. And also during this period, for whatever reason, they added this monstrous hitch assembly. And I've even got the brake controller for it, which I took off the dash, but not sure what they were going to do with it. This is all from 2016. I don't think it was ever used. There's not even a scratch where the safety chains go. But all right, let me make another pass underneath and just show you there is corrosion on the floorboard, been treated over the years. It looks to have all been patched in some way or another, either from above or down below. Not quite how I would do it, as I know how to do the MIG floating patches, but I was going to tear it all apart, and I thought, you know, it's not hurting anything, and it could always be done at a later date. And I said, since all the corrosion's been, addressed with encapsulators, I'm trying to make sure I see it all. Now, there'll be a lot of photos I'll take as well, of course, that you can blow all this up. But there's a patch that was done from down below. Going this way, you can see here. You can see, let's see. Here, under here, looks okay, a little bit. I'm going to change sides. Oh, right here, you can see it. A little bit here. And here. And you can see some of these damaged areas, like, well, not so much that one, but here, if you're familiar with Kaiser Willys and their online stuff, you can get any of this sheet metal preformed, or of course you can always do your own. That's normally how I do it. But again, I just didn't see it worthwhile to tear it all apart and have any effect on, messing up on the outside paint. I just flare it all, get it all back here. I'll do a separate video on the engine compartment, explain to you what I've done and what was done in 2016. Okay, we're going to stop it here.